Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an update video on my lips, which was when I had a condition called exfoliative cheilitis many years ago, back in, well, it was like 2008 to 2013, so it was a long period of my life. But I'm in a Facebook group. I'm going to answer some questions that you guys had. So there's a lot of them. So yeah, it's been, see, 2013 to now, 6.5, 7 years. Did you have any social life or meet people when you went through that difficult period where you left it alone and the buildup was a lot? How did you manage to work and have a normal life while leaving your lips alone for that long? So I definitely did not have a normal life while I did this. I worked at a call center, so I was in front of a computer most of the day, and I avoided the elevator. I took the stairs like 5 or 6 floors high. And yeah, avoided all those people interactions as much as I could. I did have a couple friends, mainly one that I hung out with like all the time, and he didn't care about my condition, so you know, my family was really supportive, so I just avoided a lot of public places. But I did have my family and my friend, usually just that one, helping me. I lived as much of a normal life as I could. The key thing, I think, to my being able to keep going was having the group that I talked to like every day, and making YouTube videos and talking to you guys like every week. So that was definitely like a huge help. My questions about the inner lips: how did you heal them? They are constantly traumatized, peeling. Meanwhile, the Aquaphor Sun method works very well for the outer lips. So the inner lips were the hardest part to heal, but the main thing I did was put Aquaphor on them more often than I did the other parts. That was really it. And then I tried to not talk as much as like a normal person, I guess. So the call center job was definitely difficult, so I had to take more time off work when I was working there. So I had this program called FMLA, which is like a government program, and like a doctor says that you can get on this program basically. And so I wouldn't get paid for it, but I could take like as much time off work as I needed to, like a week, and it didn't matter. So yeah, I took a lot of time off work. But it definitely helped. So not talking as much and just using Aquaphor more often in that area is what really helped me. Please talk about how you deal with this in the different seasons. Yours is worse in the winter, slightly better in the summer. So if you don't know, when I had this condition, I lived in Florida, so I didn't actually deal with it during the seasons. But I mean, I don't feel like this is like a seasonal thing, like an issue. I feel like you can get through this no matter where you live. I guess the main thing would be, like I said, just not rubbing it off and using Aquaphor all the time. As long as you have a barrier over them, then you should be fine. What was the worst thing you ever did to your lips? What was the cause of your biggest setback? And what's your go-to way to get them back to your best baseline after a setback? So I didn't really like have a go-to way to do anything. As far as my biggest setback, I mean, I hit them once, like I ran into something and then they were bleeding, but I think I was leaving them completely alone at that time, so I don't even think that counts. But the most important thing I can say is you just have to keep moving on with your life. Like if you have a setback or whatever, the biggest thing is to stay positive and to not worry, and just know that you're going to be fine, and you know, your body knows how to heal itself. You just have to keep not worry about it and just keep moving on. And you know, the biggest thing that I told you guys, my most important thing, was I used Aquaphor all the time, probably like every 15-20 minutes. If I wasn't talking a lot, then you know, I could wait like an hour or two, depending on, you know, what I was doing. But I used my, you know, whatever I felt like my lips felt dry, then I would use them more often. Also, sun exposure during the day in the summer really helped me. So I would do it for like an hour or two a few days a week, and that seemed to really help. Also, I was positive, you know, all the time, as I said already. Just like staying focused about being positive and looking at the end goal and not how you're going to get there, but that just knowing that you will get there. The other one was using steroid cream, which I can't really remember the exact pattern, but I think it was every other day for 2 weeks, and then I would take 2 weeks off and then back on again every other day. And that seemed to help me a lot. So, but again, steroid cream is different for everybody, so you have to find the one that works for you. Could you tell when it started healing and how is it different? That's a really hard question to answer too. I couldn't really tell when it was healing because from January, and if you watch my old videos, I made a video every week, and I think it's really important to watch those. Is the January when I started doing constant moisture until March, because that's when they looked bad and then they looked better and then they got worse and better, and then in March they looked like great, and but they were still inflamed, but most of the peeling had stopped within, I think, 4 months. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't really tell, but after a few months then I could definitely tell. So it was really slow. There's no one way to answer that question really. So Aquaphor stays on the outer lips all day and I don't need to reapply it till the next day, but the inner lips come off every time I talk, drink, or eat. How much quantity did you apply and how often? Yeah, again, the same thing about the inner lips is that I applied it more often, in about probably every 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even more depending on if I was talking a lot. Like if I'm making this video right now, I would probably have put it on a couple times already. You know, first of all, this video is stressful, which stress plays a big important role in this condition, and like even today sometimes when I'm like really stressed about something, my lips like feel dry, and it's a mental thing. They're not actually dry, but I will instantly start feeling like they're dry for some reason, you know, it's weird. So stress is probably the biggest thing with this. Have I ever met anyone besides myself who is cured? I've heard of a couple people being cured, and definitely a ton of people who are doing way better. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but I know I have heard people either email me or something saying that they were cured, but it's been a really long time. Okay, did your lips peel at all in each of the 2 weeks you used the steroid cream, or did it fully suppress the peeling? So it didn't suppress the peeling at all, I guess. It definitely still peeled. It didn't really suppress the peeling. I can't remember exactly. I just know it helped slowly over time get better, but as far as it suppressing the peeling, it didn't suppress it. How did the improvement process look like in detail? That's a hard question to answer too, which I don't really know the answer to. So some areas got better, then they got worse, and then some areas got better again, and then eventually, really slowly, they all got better. But as far as like in detail, I don't have an answer for that question. Did I still have a clear, defined, inflamed area on your lips similar to the enclosed picture? I did when I was doing the constant moisture method. I did have that area that you're showing. That area lasted for quite a while, but by November that area was gone. So the inflammation just takes a long time to shrink and go down back to normal, which took me 11 months. What do you think caused your EC? Did you bite or pick your lips before? I'm trying to think here. So I put a cure story on my website, but I also wrote more in depth about this in my book, which my book is free if you guys want to read it. And I think this would probably help a lot of you guys, because I feel like 99% of this, if not 100, is stress induced. So going through super stressful situations, like I was in love with this person and they like pretended, and it was just a horrible situation that I was in, and I had no way to get out. And then finally I got this lip condition, And that was literally my way out of that like relationship. So it was super stressful, but it basically, whatever took my focus away from that situation and it brought something to focus on myself, I feel like I manifested that to happen, because I was like so depressed and unhappy that I made myself manifest this. And then after I was out of that situation, and then I dealt with the after effect problems of, you know, this peeling my lips every day, because that causes its own problems which you have to deal with after you fix the root cause, which was stress and, you know, the relationship that I shouldn't have gotten myself in. Then I finally was able to heal myself. Did you have problems with rubbing your buildup off while sleeping? My buildup would come off while I'm sleeping sometimes. I'd say it was sometimes, but it didn't seem to be a big issue or anything. What I did was I just made sure I put enough on when I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, I just put more on when I woke up, and I didn't worry too much about it. After taking a shower, you apply Aquaphor right away, or do you let your lips dry first, then apply Aquaphor? So I let the water dry a little bit, and then I put Aquaphor on. So I probably waited like 4 or 5 minutes, and then I put Aquaphor on, usually. Were you ever concerned Aquaphor moisture for too long they get soggy and white? No, I wasn't worried about that, and my lips were always soggy and white, so it didn't seem to be an issue for me. It seemed to really help me. But I mean, again, if you're feeling like there's any kind of if they're getting worse, then, you know, try something different. But I never had any issue with my lips having Aquaphor on them all the time. Did you get inflammation after eating? I was very careful with how I ate, so I would use a fork and a knife for literally everything. Like anything I ate, I didn't stretch my lips ever, really. So I was pretty careful. How did your life change when you were finally healed, and were there any little milestones you were excited about achieving afterward? My life changed so much, like, yeah, it was crazy how much my life changed. So, I mean, I moved to Los Angeles and I started a YouTube career, and, you know, I had an amazing life afterward. It was pretty cool. So, definitely, as far as, like, any milestones I was excited about achieving, I was just excited to make regular YouTube videos, without having a lip condition. That was the coolest thing. Have I ever dealt with a relapse since I've been healed? So there was this one time, probably in 2014 or 15 maybe, where like a very small, like, clear layer, and I was like a really stressful situation then too, so I'm pretty confident this is what this is. And it was just like a layer just like built up for like 2 days, and then I just kept using the lip balm that I use, and then that layer came off, and that was it was years ago. So, but I haven't had any issues at all, so it's been really nice to not have to worry about this coming back. How was your diet like, and what food are you avoiding currently? I mean, I eat pretty healthy most of the time, so I'm not avoiding any foods, so I have no food allergies or anything. I just eat like anyone else, really, but I try to avoid most fast food. But diet doesn't seem to be a really big issue with this. In one of your old videos, you put tape on your lips. Did that actually help? It seemed like it helped. It was more informative than anything, because I put them on like here, and then they ended up like down here when they were done. So it was like more informative of how I learned how the skin grows outward, I guess. So it was kind of neat, but it didn't seem to do Well, there definitely wasn't any buildup under it. So when the tape like came off finally, nothing had built up under it. So it seemed, but it didn't. Once the tape came off, then it kept building up again. So I don't know how helpful it was or not. Daniel, give us an exact Aquaphor product link which you used for healing. So I'll leave a link on Amazon of what I use, but I know it's not available in a lot of countries, so that might be hard to get. How long were you with EC? How long were you to heal it? What did you do? Constant moisture or leave alone? Okay, so I'm guessing you haven't seen my blog or whatever, but I did both. I did leaving alone and constant moisture, which leaving alone I did for 10 months, which seemed like it didn't do much. And then when I left them alone after that for 11 months, or when I did constant moisture after that for 11 months, then it healed me. And I had EC for a long time, from around 2008 until 2013. How did you take showers without water touching your lips? So what I did was I didn't let the water directly touch my lips. I let the water hit my head and then run down my face over my lips. So I was really careful with like water pressure on my lips. So that was the main thing. What stage did the white line when wet disappear? That was, it took until August, I feel like. So from January to August, about 8 months. And then I feel like that's when the inner lips started healing. So yeah, it took about 8 months. How hygienic were you in the process? Did you always wash your hands before applying Aquaphor on your lips? So no, you don't have to be very careful in this situation. I definitely was not. I would wash my hands when I went to the bathroom or when I took a shower. Other than that, I didn't wash my hands, and I was not careful, so I didn't, wash them before I put Aquaphor on. So that's not something I feel like you have to worry about. How did you know you were healing? So like I said before, it took a few months before I knew I was actually healing. There's no sure sign to know if you're healing or not, but after a few months, if it's not getting better, then I would say you're probably not healing. Did my lips get inflammation from time to time? Did they hurt sometimes? So my lips were really inflamed. Like, they were probably, I'd say 25% larger than they are now. And it just took 11 months for that to like slowly go down. And then how long did it take to see vertical lines? That probably took, I think I started getting those in July. I feel like it took 6 months or something before I started seeing those. Okay, so you want a clear presentation summary of your method and the timeline of your healing. So I started in January using constant moisture every 15 to 20 minutes, all day, every day. And then I introduced the steroid cream, and I used that, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for a few months. And then in July I switched to like one time every few days, and I did that for like a month or so. And then I did one time every other week, and then I did one time every month or so, and then I just stopped using it in November. And I was also doing the sun method every few days a week, probably 3 or 4 days a week. I would go out for an hour or two in the sun, maybe a little bit longer. Obviously don't burn yourself like completely horribly bad, because you're not trying to do that either. You don't want to cause other problems. And then just keeping a positive mindset, like telling yourself it's going to get better and you're going to make it, and just, staying focused on the end goal of being healed completely. How long did you wait before kissing someone? I think I kissed someone like in the summer of that year. I didn't wait that long. Did I gently remove the white line when it appeared? I think I removed it when it appeared most of the time, as long as it came off easily, and it just healed slowly on its own. That's probably why it took so long to heal. How long did I use the natural sun? So I used the sun almost the whole, I don't know, for probably at least 4 or 5 months. I probably did the sun. I don't really remember because I would just go out whenever I felt like it. So it definitely lasted most of the year because I was in California and Florida at the time. Today, do you use any lip balm or moisturizer? And when your lips are well, you don't need anything, they hydrate themselves. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. You know, I've used lip balms my whole life, so using them now, obviously my lips aren't building up skin, and just because you use lip balm doesn't mean that you have this condition anymore. Obviously millions of people use lip balm and that doesn't mean anything. So I use this one from Whole Foods. It's a peppermint one and it's really amazing. I just really like it. So my lips sometimes get dry and it's just more of a habit thing now, and I just like having lip balm on my lips rather than not having them. So yeah, I still use it a few times a day. What do you think about lip fillers for peeling lips? I feel like that would be a bad idea because lip fillers make your lips bigger, which would cause more inflammation, and I feel like that would just have a negative reaction to this, in my opinion. What other things did you apply to the lips in contrast with Aquaphor? I tried everything, I feel like. I used lotion, I tried coconut oil, I tried honey, I tried so many different brands of lotion that, you know, Aquaphor was the only one that really worked for me. Have I ever used hydrochlorine or whatever that is? No, I haven't used that. I'm not sure what that one is. When you were ending the cyclical peeling and buildup, I remember you posted in a video that it was similar to rubbing your hands together and getting that weird piling of dead skin. Did Aquaphor turn that white and then it just kind of rubbed off? Yeah, Aquaphor turns dead skin white and then it just comes off, you know, whenever it comes off, basically. And that's what the white line is too. It's just dead skin from your saliva or Aquaphor that's caused it to turn white. When things got better, did you notice the lines coming back in your lips even though you still had peeling? Yeah, so I think I got the lines coming back in that summer. I still had peeling. I had very little peeling in that summer, if I can remember. It's really hard to remember back then. But for the most part, after I moved to California, which I moved in May, most of my peeling had stopped, but I still had a lot of inflammation on my lips, which is what took the next 6 months to have go away. What kind of shampoo, toothpaste, and body soap were you using during the time? I got a natural toothpaste which didn't have fluoride in it, and I still use a non-fluoride toothpaste today, and I think I can't remember what shampoo I use, but I really like the Jason shampoos and soaps, which are available at Whole Foods, which are amazing. I use those all the time now. As far as brushing your teeth, I did make a video on how to brush your teeth with this. It's not the most exciting video, but I went in depth on that. So you just have to be really careful and not let it touch your lips if you want. And did I use Aquaphor and the steroid cream at the same time? Yes, I used them both at the same time. Did you go out in the sun when you used the steroid cream? I feel like the sun and the steroid cream seem to not work as well together. So usually when I went out in the sun, I would only put Aquaphor on, and then when I got inside, I would put the steroid cream on. How many times did I put the steroid cream on in one day? I think it was 2 times a day, morning and night, if I remember. When EC spread to your outer lips, did you use Aquaphor and the steroid cream to heal the outer lips, or did you not use anything? I used Aquaphor and the steroid cream to heal the outer lips and the inner lips. I used it on both. Do you put it in the same way as Aquaphor, meaning do you not remove dead skin on the lips? I do it in the same way. So yeah, I don't take the dead skin off when I'm putting it on. And no, I did not take any food supplements. What about the white line in the inner lips? Did you wipe off by tissue, your hand, or when you put the ointment on? I would usually just use, when I was putting Aquaphor on, if there was a white line and I didn't want anyone to see it, then I would rub it off with the Aquaphor usually, but very gently, obviously. Were your entire parts of your upper and lower lips affected? If not, so my lips were my whole bottom lip was affected, and then I'd say half of my top lip was affected. And after the 11 months, no, I did not use Aquaphor anymore. I just used a lip balm that I gotten from Whole Foods, I think. So I was definitely 100% cured by November. Do you give the buildups to completely remove by itself, or do you remove it? So I was very clear to not remove the buildup unless it came off by itself. It's very important to not remove any of the buildup on your lips with your finger and let them come off by itself. That is the most important thing that you can do. And I know I did the inner part with the white line, but it was barely hanging on anyway, so I didn't see that as much of a big deal. But definitely on the outer parts, you don't want to be rubbing it off. Otherwise you're just going to be in this endless cycle. And again, remember, the inner lips of my lips took a long time to heal, so you just have to be really careful and not remove things if you can avoid it. So I would say not to even remove the inner part if you can. Forced eye spots on your lips. I didn't ever have any of those on my lips. I tried constant moisture method and I actually used Aquaphor for 2 weeks as you suggested. I got a lip infection. How can I keep my lips moisturized without getting a lip infection? I have no idea why you got a lip infection from using Aquaphor. You obviously got some kind of bacteria in there, but Aquaphor by itself wouldn't cause this, so I'm not sure why you got that. And I don't have an answer for that question, unfortunately. Do you remove your layer with contact with water, and do you use soap for face wash? Yes, I did. No, okay. Do you remove in contact with water? So I was really careful to not let the water spray directly on my lips, and just let it drain over my head. But if it did come off from that, I didn't worry too much about it, but I definitely didn't try to make it come off and just say it was coming off naturally. So I was really careful to not let very much water touch my lips. Were you eating normally and drinking out of cups? So I would always use a straw, and I would never use regular cups. It was really annoying, but I was really determined to heal myself, so I tried my best to not let my lips touch any like objects that it could stick on, so especially glasses and plastic cups. So I always used a straw on everything. Alright, so that's all the questions. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, or if there's something that I wasn't very clear about that I didn't answer your question, feel free to leave a comment below and I will try to answer it. Other than that, I hope this helps you guys, and you know, I hope you guys can all get cured. So just remember the most important thing: don't forcibly peel it off. Keep a positive attitude and a mindset, and just know that you're going to heal yourself, and Aquaphor all the time. So, alright, well that's it for this video, and we will talk to you guys later.